lost control. And in that moment, it felt like I was already dead.
To actually think that there are people in heterosexual relationship with people that are literal homos but are disguising themselves like guys or women that are heterosexual, it's mind-blowing. So in today's video we're going to be hearing from ladies narrate how they discover that their boyfriends or their man was gay. So let's take it away.
Okay, so for this next story, I gotta add some context so I don't lose y'all, so y'all don't get confused. So, this person and I dated from the end of my 8th grade year to the beginning of my 10th grade year, maybe midway through my 10th grade year, something like that. This person has an uncle who dated my cousin. Okay, this person and I also share a cousin. So I met him because he had a cousin. He had an uncle who was dating my cousin. That's how we met. His uncle has a daughter who is my cousin, who's related to me on my father's side. So his uncle's baby mama is my cousin on my daddy's side. However, his uncle was dating a cousin that I'm related to on my mom's side. Right. So that's how come.
Man, that's a lot of dating in the same circle. Am I the only one that was getting confused to an extent? Like, it took me a while to digest that. Please let me know if you understood what she said. But I cannot explain it to you. Sorry. Because I understand, but I cannot explain. Yeah.
We were able to remain so close throughout this whole saga. We were in close proximity to each other with a lot of history there. Great. Okay, so I moved away. I left home, my hometown, a month after I graduated from high school. And I stayed away for years. I ended up going back, though. I went back for a while. And when I first got back, there was a lot of chatter. But as I was away, though, I would hear stuff about this particular person and this topic through guys that I would talk to, but I would just shut it down because I'm not too fond of men who talk about other men to women. That's just not my stilo. So I always shut it down. And then number 2, but let me just add though. He had a friend who he was also very close with. There was a male who told me this years before this transpired. The first person to ever know this about him was this guy. So, fast forward to I go home, and like I said, I always heard these things it had been years, a couple years. That was the rumor, that was the chit chat. Okay, cool. But around this time it had got really profound, and I don't know if maybe he was dealing with somebody that was just talking a lot, or actually I do know he had a falling out with another friend, and I think she went and blasted him on Facebook after they fell out. And so people were talking about that. And so I walked in. One day we was at my grandma's house, and I walked up on a conversation. And hold on, my baby crying. Okay, so I walk in on the back end of a conversation, and they talking about this blasting session that an old friend of his had about him on Facebook. Oh, motherfucker, whew, it's just windy. So as I'm walking up, they're like, yeah, Jay, but you know this though, because you know him. Like, you're about the closest thing to him. So if all the rest of us know it and everybody else talking about it, Jay, you got to know this because, why wouldn't you? Type shit. And I was like, nah, I don't know that. I don't know that to be true. He's never told me nothing like that. And we tell each other everything. Thought, you know, I told him everything. I thought that's what we was on. So, yeah, I was like, nah, he would have told me if that was what he was on, that's what was going on. So, because it was so like heavy though, it was like everybody was just pressing this issue. I was like, I had made up my mind after that conversation that I wasn't gonna not address it. Like, I was gonna pull him to the side and ask him myself. So he was working at this restaurant at the time. Oh, my baby is crazy. He was working at this restaurant at the time, and he was a chef. It had just opened. It was a seafood restaurant. So I was like, I'm gonna come up there, get me something to drink, get me a seafood boil or whatever, and just kick it. So my other cousin had pulled up, the cousin that we share. She pulled up, had some drinks, and we was just chilling at the bar. It wasn't really busy. And so he had asked me, can he use my phone? He had asked me, can he use my phone? And I'm like, yeah, sure. That wasn't strange. That wasn't strange because we had the type of relationship where they ask to use your phone, you don't think twice about it. It's just like, what did I have to hide? And vice versa. So, I let him use my phone. He logged into his Facebook from my phone. And I ain't think nothing of it. When he got done, he handed me my phone back. Cool. I had let it be known, though. I don't know if it was during that conversation or maybe at some point within that time span, I was just like, I want to talk to you. I want us to have a heart-to-heart, friend to friend. That's what we used to call it. So, cool. Okay, bet. And I don't know if it was, I don't think it was that night, but I know it was maybe the following night or something. He pulled up on me and we talked. And I had told him everything that I heard, every little speck. I'm talking about everything that I had heard for the past 3, 4, 5 years. I had just told it to him. And I wanted him to address it one by one. And he did. Every speculation, every rumor, he had an explanation for it. He had an explanation. And the most recent one, when the girl outed him on Facebook about it, about his relations, he just explained it as like, she's just mad. She was just mad and making up lies. Okay, cool. I let it go. And I genuinely felt like he was being honest, like he was being sincere. Because at the end of the conversation, I said, well, let's call him B. I said, well, B, like, it wouldn't really change how I see you anyway, so you would tell me though, right? He was like, hell yeah, like, you would be the first person I tell. Facts, like, before I tell anybody, I'm gonna tell you. I was like, okay, bet. And I believed it. It's my dog. I know he ain't lying to me. So, that was it. That was the end of that conversation. So, here's where it gets tricky now. I wasn't really too familiar with Facebook Messenger. I don't know where I thought in my mind that messages was going when they created Facebook Messenger. I don't know. But I know I wasn't on that motherfucker. I wasn't using it. And one day somebody had told me to check my message. They had sent me a message. I'm like, how? So I go to the messenger thing. And I'm going through these messages and I'm like, dang, all these, like, people on Facebook is weird. Like, I don't know none of these people. I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know why these motherfuckers would be having whole conversations with themselves. You see I'm not responding. Why are you steady talking to me? So I just click on one of them. I'm like, fuck is this nigga talking about? And it was a thread. Then I realized this is not my inbox. This is not my inbox.
So guys, I have a question. Yeah, she mentioned how she shuts people down when they try to tell her about that person's sexuality. Maybe because of how she was close to the person as her friend, she didn't want to hear from outsiders. So here's my question: to what extent will you shut people down when they're trying to tell you about something? Because you know it. People that are around you see beyond what you can say, especially when your feelings or emotions are involved with somebody. The people around you see way more than you can. So to what extent will you listen or not listen to people? I genuinely want to hear you guys' opinion on that. But let's continue, boys, because she still has a lot to share with us. This story is quite a long one.
Okay, part 2 of how I found out that my childhood boyfriend / best friend was gay. So I left off the part in the previous video that prior to me seeing the messages, I had, and following our conversation, so somewhere in between me reading the messages and after we had our heart-to-heart, I went to his sister's house and just catching up with her. It was just me and her. And I was talking to her about everything, and I was like, dang, you know, I don't know why this is the talk right now. And she was saying, oh, because he fell out with that girl and the girl blasted him. But I totally missed that because I was away, number one. And number two, I had deleted Facebook. I wasn't on Facebook at the time. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, he debunked all of that because I just talked to him the other day. Me and him had a one-on-one, and he gave me his word that all of that was bullshit. And she literally was in tears laughing, y'all. Like, y'all would have thought that I had on a clown suit. The way that she was laughing hysterically, I'm like, what's so damn funny, you know? And she's like, well, Jay, I hate to tell you, but that's my brother. I love him, but he's gay. And I'm like, why would you say that? Mind you, this is the type of person that say anything about anybody. So you have to take what she say with a grain of salt. If you know her, you know. So I'm like, why would you say that? You know, it's already people speculating about it, saying this, saying that, you his own sister, you know. And so she like, I ain't never told nobody this. But one day, me and she named her friend were out at a club. They went out. And B was babysitting her kids for her. And apparently B had used her phone too to log into his Facebook. But she didn't have access to his messages. She could just see like the preview, but she couldn't see what I could see after this conversation. What I seen after I had this conversation with her. So she was like, when she was out, he got a message from a dude that she was familiar with, that she knew that he had been speaking to. They knew each other. She knew that they knew each other, but she had never met this dude. So it's like, she was like, it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the dude is like, he's pulling up. And so she like, he's supposed to be babysitting, why he got this nigga coming to my house this time of night? He's supposed to be watching my kids. So she said they decided that they was gonna leave to purposely try to catch something. So she said by the time that they got there, she was walking up the steps, the guy was leaving out of her apartment, walking down the steps. So she said they kind of just like, hey, you know, and it was awkward, but they proceeded to go inside, and B was on the toilet, and there was some briefs, some male briefs on the side of the couch in an odor, right? Okay, cool. Could have been anything. I was still very hopeful that, like, you know what I'm saying? At that point, a motherfucker really had to have, I had to have the evidence that I had, or like a video or some shit. Because I was not finna believe that, you know? So I was like, okay, like, that don't really. And she's just like, you're in fucking denial. You know, it just is what it is. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I just let that be. Then that's when I realized that I was in his Messenger account. And that's when I went through the messages. Now, to add insult to injury, his uncle, baby mama, who is my cousin, which makes her daughter my cousin, the cousin that we share. That's how we share a cousin. At the time, I don't know what transpired between them. I don't know. Not my story to tell. I don't know what happened. But we were all in a group message. And so when I first seen the messages, I took like a day to sit in it, and then I shared it. And I shouldn't have shared it with them, but I did. We were all in a group message, and I only shared a couple screenshots. And something transpired between them. I think, I don't even want to speak on what transpired, but because again, that's not my story to tell. But anyway, they had words, they had differences, and his uncle's baby mother, and it's quite ironic because they're actually still cool now. They're back cordial. She decided that she wanted to post the screenshots on Facebook. And I don't know why to him that was me doing so, me outing him. But I caught the heat from that. Like I said, they're all cordial to this day. But for him, I don't know, I guess maybe he felt like betrayed. I had no idea she was gonna do it. Up until the moment where she said she would. But then at that point, I was kind of, because he had already cussed me out anyway. He had already said everything, called me every name under the sun. Any negative thought that he ever had about me, he said it to me when I addressed him about it. So when she posted those screenshots, I think we had words again, and that was kind of like that. We finalized that was our last dance. We would never be friends or cool again, because my thing was, for him, it wasn't that, I don't care if you're gay. Like, I don't care what you do sexually with whoever you want to do it with. I'm okay with that. I love you regardless. Like, we've been rocking with each other this long, this many years. You think I not rock with you because you decide that you want to? No, it wasn't that. It was the context and of the messages. It was the fact that his kink was being down low. And I never knew up until that point that there is a plethora of men who are attracted to other men. They have sex with other men, have sexual relations with other men, but it's not that they don't feel comfortable coming out to the public and being open about their sexuality. It's that it's a kink, meaning it's a fetish for them to be down low, for no one to know except them and other outwardly gay men or publicly gay men, or them and other down low men. That's the kink. And how do I know that? Because I read these messages thoroughly for hours. I told y'all I sat in this shit for a day. So, and I think that's also why he knew that we could never be friends, because I didn't just find out something about you. I found out the thought process behind it too. How you really feel about, really, you don't give a fuck about anybody but your damn self. And he knew, because he knew me, that he couldn't be around me with that mentality. So it was the kink for me. It was the determination of being never coming out and always being down low, and then that being a fetish. Like, they would talk about it with each other. They was laughing like it's funny. That's not funny to me. Cause yeah.
Man, guys, this is the kind of story that after hearing, the only words you can offer is wow. Like, just wow. I'm bamboozled. I don't even know where to start from. But all I can say is that it's actually not funny, because these are the kind of men that we go on to marry women that don't know anything, that women that don't suspect anything, and they will not bear children with these women. Maybe they're in their later years, when they cannot, keep it down again, or maybe when they develop another kink, maybe the kink might be coming out to let everybody know, or let's see how the people will feel when they hear that they are gay. Like, the kind of like house that'll be shattered, your children are involved, your wife is involved, like a whole lot. So why don't you save people the headache? Besides, you are living in the Western world where nobody gives a damn if you are gay or not. So why don't you just come out? Whoa, what am I even saying? Say it's a kink for them. This is the first time ever in my life I'm hearing that people not coming out is a kink. Man, things are happening. It's how, man, I know things are really happening. You guys just open your eyes out there. There are people that genuinely do not care about your feelings. They're all about themselves. As so long as they're okay, they don't care who they step on rather. And the funny part is that you don't even know that they don't like you. Because, oh no, oh guys, I seriously do not know what to say to this story.
Let me tell you how I found out my boyfriend was gay. So back in my early days, I would literally only date a guy if he was bisexual, because I used to feel like if he's comfortable enough to tell you that he's bisexual, he's going to be honest with you about everything, and the relationship will be more fun and yada yada. Now this boyfriend, I had dated him
More times 1 million. Things are happening in this world though. Hey, the African girl in me is bamboozled times 1 million. That's all I can say.
a couple of times. And so one of the times that we were dating, I had told him like, yeah, like recently I've only been dating like bi guys, and I told him like the reasoning behind it, and he didn't really have much to say about it. He was just like, oh, that's so foul, you foul for that, whatever. But anyways, we had ended up breaking up. So years or months was passing, and we ended up dating again. So when we ended up dating the last time, he had asked me about it. He was like, so do you still only date guys that are bi, whatever? And so then I knew without a shadow of a doubt, because number one, you wouldn't be asking me this for no reason. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you remembered this and you bring it up like dead serious, not like jokingly or nothing, I knew right then and there. So my only mission was to get him to out himself to me, because I'm one of the bros for real. I want all my niggas to be comfortable with me, period. So I just kept asking him questions like, oh, would you ever try anything like that? Or, oh, have you ever considered trying anything like that? Like, once he brought up the conversation, I knew that was my opening to ask as many questions as I wanted, including, have you ever tried anything like that? And when I asked him that question, he got real quiet. So you know when a man get quiet, he's just thinking like, should I tell her? Should I not? Should I tell her? Should I not? Anyways, he ended up telling me that night. We ended up sharing our like sneaky Twitters with each other, and babe, the stuff that he shared some of his videos with me. Baby, yes, I'm that girlfriend. I want to see it all. Let me see this. One night he came to my house and he fell asleep. So you already know I grabbed his phone, getting ready to go through it. He started shaking a little bit, so I ran to the restroom. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I went through his messages, his Snapchat, everything. When I got to his Snapchat, I don't know why I was clicking everybody messages and not just girls' names. But then I started scrolling down this conversation, and he was like, when you gonna come over to play the game? And then it was like naked pictures. I'm just like, hold on. Like, his ass was tooted up and everything. So I'm like, hold on. So I sent the pictures to myself because I don't know, I was a heathen. But anyways, then I woke him up and he was like, "Oh, I lost the bet and my friends made me do that." So that's all that was. Like, do you really think I'm gay? Like, I'm not gay. Like, it was like me. Like, yeah, it was him. After that, though, I was so intrigued. I wanted to go to like the pineapple parties and everything, and we actually went to one, but we didn't stay or nothing. We just like, went.
First of all, what is she mixing? What is this one? And this girl just sounds like this type that just want to experiment on people, because I genuinely do not understand this her story. Well, guys, please let me know if you understand what you're saying. But don't forget to like and subscribe and take care of yourself. Bye, guys. And have you ever experienced something like this? Share in the comments with us. How are you able to handle it and move on and forgive the person as well?